So I've been reading a lot of comments that folks make and more specifically even write in about. And I'm talking about this concept of how, for me personally at least, my most profitable activity is functioning as a rainmaker for a private client, which is to really engineer cash infusions into your clients' businesses. My experience has told me that if you have the ability to do this, you're never really going to need to chase after people or really advertise too aggressively for that type of service because it's what everybody wants. And then there's this caveat that I hear, and the caveat is, but you can do this because you're Frank Kern. Right? And because people know who you are and you've built up this personal brand and you've been doing this forever. So yeah, this is true. However, it's not necessary to have like any of that kind of track record because nobody cares about me. Like, my clients aren't coming to me going, hey, Frank, we're endlessly fascinated with you as a person and we really care what kind of car you have and we really care about this. They have no interest in that whatsoever. The only thing they care about is the results that I can give for them. So I want to help sort of get rid of that like head trash that you might have about moving forward. I just want to share a little bit of a personal story with you. I got started out of fear. That was the number one driver for me. It was 100% out of fear, and here's why. I went to high school, barely graduated, and when I enrolled in college, I immediately knew that I just wasn't normal. It wasn't going to work for me. And I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I started all these different jobs, all these different careers, businesses, and I ran them all into the ground. I failed miserably. I remember like my last job I ever had was a door-to-door credit card machine salesman. So I'm going, like nobody likes a door-to-door salesman, and I'm going door-to-door. I'm trying to sell these credit card machines. I go into this restaurant and there were some people that I graduated high school with eating lunch in the restaurant. And I hadn't seen them in forever. And when I was in high school, I was not like voted most likely to succeed, and I knew I hadn't amounted to anything. And it just happens that day that I get thrown out of the freaking restaurant that I was cold calling. I'd angered the owner of the restaurant because I came in there during lunch hour, and you're not supposed to go in there during lunch hour, so the guy was mad. And he kicks me out, and my friends that I graduated high school with witnessed that entire thing. That just absolute embarrassment and rejection. So I made it a point. I was like, I never, ever want to have to do this again. But I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't want to face the rejection. So that led me to start studying marketing. And I started like doing what everybody does. I can actually see pretty good. I don't need these sunglasses right now. I bought all kinds of courses and stuff. I started like a twofold journey. I continued learning everything I could about online marketing and selling and direct response marketing, not just online. I work with clients offline and direct mail and, all of these kinds of things. At the same time, started learning to apply that knowledge to other people's businesses, which there was never anything that taught that ever. The very first time I ever went out and took a client was like probably the weirdest story ever. So it was 2005 or something, I think. 2 years prior to that, I'd been sued by the Federal Trade Commission. I was really, really embarrassed about that. But it's 2005, and I was selling stuff online. I was selling little dog training audios and everything, and all that was going well. And I read this book by a dude named Neil Strauss. And the book was called The Game. It's about how to have better confidence and how to present yourself better in social situations. And my cousin Trey and I got this idea to reach out to him. Didn't know him from Adam. He didn't know me. And if he Googled me, it'd be ugly. And we're like, we're going to reach out to him and we're going to see if he'll work with us to create an advice product for men and split the money with us. And through a series of miraculous events, we get a phone call with this guy. Neil Strauss is a real guy. Why he agreed to talk to me, I have no clue, because nobody knew me. The only people who ever would have known me at that time were people that would be like, oh, that's the guy that got sued by the FTC. But for whatever reason, the gods were with us, as they always are, and Neil gets on the phone with us. And I pitch him. I'm like, look, man, I can do this for you. What do you want to do? And he's like, I don't want to pay you anything. I don't know you. You could be Charles Manson. And he didn't word it exactly like that, So I said, well, all right, man, how about this? We'll do all the work, and then we just split the profits. And he said, okay. It was a handshake deal, So Trey and I get to work. It's my cousin Trey Smith. He was helping me, and actually he didn't help me. We worked together on it. And so we do all this work. We write all this copy for Neil. We engineer how he can create the course and everything, A to Z. And it worked. the dang thing, it actually worked. So we do this big promotion for them, and I think it does like $1.4 million in sales in its first day. It was a very limited offer, so it's sold out completely. And long story short, our cut of that was, I think, like $400,000 or $500,000 after expenses, which was unbelievable, right? I'd like gone from never having a client ever, and then being totally nervous and like freaking out, and then this dude was like, "Yeah, man, screw it, let's try it." And I'll tell you something, man. All it took was just getting one client ever. There's nothing special about me, right? Period. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, but my story is just like everybody else's story. You know, did a bunch of stupid stuff, figured out some stuff that worked real good, try to just do the stuff that worked real good now. But I digress. The purpose of this entire live for you to really overcome this whole, well, you can do it, you know, because you're special or whatever. I'm no different than anybody else at all. You know, most of all of you guys are way smarter than me. The trick here is to just get out of your own way. Like, don't be listening to the excuses your brain's going to tell you. If you do good work, you're good, man. You're cool. That's it. Do good work, demonstrate you can help by actually helping them, and then you're gold.